Hello students, welcome to ICSC Board Class 10 Biology episode 3.1.6. In the previous episode we have seen about the blood cells RBC and WBC. In RBC we have seen its functions and lifespan, as well as in WBC we have talked about types of WBCs and their functions. In this episode we are going to talk about blood platelets. So let us move on to blood platelets. Blood platelets, they are oval shape or spherical shape, about 2 to 3 microns in diameter. Nucleus is absent. Number of platelets per cmm ranges from 2 lakh to 450,000 in the blood. These are produced by the megakaryotes in the bone marrow and are destroyed in the spleen. Their function is to help in blood coagulation and helps in the repairing of capillary endothelium. So this is the important function of blood platelet, that is helps in clotting of blood. So whenever the injury takes place, or the injury is there, then or bruise is there, and if the bleeding takes place, then the bleeding requires to be stopped, and it is done with the help of blood platelets by bringing the clotting of blood, or you can say by coagulation of the blood. So which cells helps in the coagulation of blood? That is blood platelets. If the number of platelets increases than the normal, then it is known as thrombocytosis. So this is one clinical information to you. So if the number increases more than, if it is more than 2 lakh or 450,000, then it is known as thrombocytosis. So it is known as thrombocytosis. Let us see the process of coagulation of blood. So coagulation of blood occurs when the blood oozes out from the injured or a cut blood vessels. So whenever there is injury, the blood comes out, blood oozes out, and the coagulation, that is a clotting of blood, is required to be taken place. Otherwise what happens? The large amount of blood is going to flow out of the body. So coagulation occurs at the injured part, or you can say cut blood vessels, and it is done with the help of enzyme known as thrombokinase. So thrombokinase or thromboplastin is an enzyme which is important for the blood clotting or blood coagulation, and it is secreted or released from the platelets and the damaged tissues in the blood. Prothrombin is formed in the liver. So where does the formation of prothrombin takes place? The formation of prothrombin takes place in the liver, and it is with the help of vitamin K. So if vitamin K is absent in the person, then prothrombin is not formed, and the prothrombin is not converted into thrombin by thrombokinase. So everything is there, but if vitamin K is not there, then prothrombin is not going to form in the liver, and clotting is not going to take place. So that's why vitamin K is very much important for the process of clotting of blood. Let us move on further. It is present, this prothrombin is found in the liver with the help of vitamin K, and it is released in the blood. It is present as an inactive protein. So it is an inactive. This one is inactive protein. So active protein is which one? Active protein is thrombin. Thrombin is active protein, and it is activated in the presence of thrombokinase. So it goes like this. Here, from liver, what is it going to come? Prothrombin. Thrombokinase is going to convert prothrombin into thrombin. Thrombin is going to convert fibrinogen into fibrin. So this is how the blood clotting takes place. I'll show the diagram afterwards. Thrombokinase acts upon the prothrombin and hydrolyzes it to thrombin to start the process of coagulation in the presence of calcium ions. So which minerals are important for the process of clotting of blood or coagulation of blood? Calcium ions. Which vitamin is important? Vitamin K. So vitamin K, if they are asking question, which vitamin is important for the coagulation of blood? Vitamin K. Which mineral is important for the process of coagulation of blood? Calcium. So calcium is important for the coagulation of the blood. This then converts soluble fibrinogen to insoluble fibrin, which forms network, and it traps RBC and dries up to form clot. So the fibrinogen is soluble, and it is going to convert into insoluble fibrin. This fibrin is going to form network where RBCs and platelets are all trapped up, and it dries up and it forms a clot. After the clot, the yellowish transparent fluid oozes out, that is known as serum. So this is the definition of serum. What is serum? The yellowish transparent fluid that flushes out after the blood clot from that injured part is known as serum, and serum does not possess RBC and platelets or RBC and fibrinogen. Why? Because RBC are trapped and fibrinogen is going to form fibrin. So what is it remaining? The plasma along with WBC. So plasma and WBC are there in serum. Here the important function for the blood clotting. Number one, functions of blood clotting. What are the functions of blood clotting? The function of blood clotting is number one, to prevent excess flow of blood. This is first function. And function number two, second function, to prevent, this is the most important, to prevent the entry of microorganism, to prevent the entry of microorganism. So these are the two important functions of blood clotting. Which are the two important functions of blood clotting? Number one, to prevent the loss of blood, and to prevent the entry of microorganisms. So let us see the diagram here. So here, this is the blood vessel. It is injured. Red color blood is shown in the diagram, which means that from the injured part the blood is oozing out. Let me zoom it. At that time, what happens here? Basophil becomes active and it secretes serotonin. Serotonin acts as a vasoconstrictor, which constricts the blood vessel to reduce the flow of blood. So this is the first function, and clot forms. So the reduction of blood takes place, reduction of flow of blood takes place, and platelets becomes active. It ruptures, it releases the enzyme thrombokinase. This thrombokines is acting on the prothrombin, which is coming from the liver in the blood plasma. So prothrombin is protein, fibrinogen is protein, thrombokinase is enzyme. So which enzyme is important for the blood clotting? Thrombokinase. Which enzyme is important for the blood clotting? Thrombokinase. Name the enzyme responsible for the blood clotting? Thrombokinase. Thrombokinase function is to convert prothrombin into thrombin. See, these are the important questions. Which enzyme is important for the blood clotting? Thrombokinase. Which vitamin is important for the blood clotting? Vitamin K. Which mineral is important for the blood clotting? Calcium. So these are the three important questions. So vitamin K is helping for the formation of prothrombin, which is blood plasma released from the liver. From the liver, it enters into the blood plasma. During the time of injury, thrombokinase will act on prothrombin and it will convert into thrombin. Prothrombin is inactive while thrombin is active. This thrombin will act on fibrinogen in the blood plasma. So again, fibrinogen is a soluble protein in the blood plasma and it will be converted into insoluble fibrin. This insoluble fibrin is going to form a network. So this forms a network of fibrin which traps RBCs and tries out to form clot. And after 3-4-5 minutes, yellowish transparent fluid that oozes out after blood clot is known as serum. So serum is equal to blood devoid of RBC and fibrinogen, because RBCs are trapped and fibrinogen is converted into fibrin for the formation of network. So blood will be without RBC and fibrinogen. So this is the process of blood clotting, and these are the important terms that you require to know: thrombokinase, vitamin K, calcium ions, prothrombin, fibrinogen. All these are the important terms that you require to know, as well as the definition of serum. And you can say fill in the blank: serum is equal to dash minus dash plus dash. So blood minus bracket RBC plus fibrinogen. Let us see certain miscellaneous terms like heparin, antithrombin and hemophilia. Heparin, it is an anticoagulant present in the blood, prevents the activation of prothrombin. So heparin is not allowing the activation of prothrombin, and it is very important for our body. When the blood is flowing in the channels, heparin should be present. Otherwise, if heparin is not there, prothrombin will become active and it will start coagulating blood, or clotting of blood will start taking place inside the blood vessels, and it may cause a heart attack or heart stroke. Antithrombin, it is present in the blood, inhibits the formation of thrombin if found in the blood. So antithrombin are also important. Heparin is also important. Then both of them are actually checking the prevention of coagulation occurring in the blood. The next one is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a condition in human beings where blood clotting is delayed or failed. As for example, if a person's blood is not clotting for a longer period of time, that means a person is suffering from hemophilia, and hemophilia is a genetic disorder. Hemophilia is a genetic disorder. Name the genetic disorder related to the condition of delaying in the blood clotting. Answer is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a genetic, once again, genetic disorder where person's blood is delayed from being clot or fail from being clot. Let us move on to the another topic, that is blood groups. Blood group was discovered by Carl Landsteiner. Human blood contains certain specific substances called antigens. Antigens are the specific proteins present on the surface of RBC. Antibodies are the proteins produced by the organism due to the entry of foreign particle or antigens. On the basis of this, human blood can be distinguished in a blood group A, B, AB and O. AB blood group is considered to be the universal recipient and the blood group O is considered as the universal donor. On the basis of RH antigen, which was found from the rhesus monkey, blood can be distinguished as RH positive and RH negatives. If you see the figure here in the blood group, I have shown you very clearly that blood group A has proteins, antigen A. Blood group B has proteins on the surface of RBG, that is acting as an antigen B. Blood group AB has both antigen A and antigen B, while blood group O is not having any sort of proteins on the surface, so it is devoid of antigens. That means if a person takes the blood group O, then there are no antigens, so no antibodies formed. If the O blood group is given to B, as there is no antigens on O, blood group B will also be accepting the blood of O group because there will be no formation of antibodies. Same with the AB. So that's why O is considered as a universal donor. As the RBC of O blood group does not possess any type of antigens, antibody formation is not going to take place. As a result, O can be accepted by A, B and AB. That's why it is considered as a universal donor. But if you see recipient that is AB, which is considered as a universal recipient, it has both the types of antigens on its surface. So if this is given to A, then the B proteins which are present on the RBC of AB will provoke the antibodies in blood group A. If it is given to B, then it is going to produce the antibody against A. A blood group is going to produce antibody against B, and B blood group is going to produce antibody against A, because AB has surface proteins. And which are those surface proteins? A and B. These are the antigens. So AB cannot be given to A, AB cannot be given to B, and AB also cannot be given to O. But AB can accept the blood from everywhere. Hence, it is considered to be universal recipient. Blood group A cannot accept AB, but AB can accept A. B cannot accept AB, but AB can accept B. O can be taken by any type of blood groups, but O cannot accept blood group from A, B and AB because they all have antigens on the surface of their RBC. So O will start producing antibody A as well as antibody B. Hence AB is considered as a universal recipient and O is considered as a universal donor. Even though components of blood are same for all humans, there are various types of blood. In fact, there are more than 40 blood groups, but all of them are not clinically significant. The discovery of ABO blood group created great excitement, as until then all the blood has been assumed to be the same. Blood group system. Carl Landsteiner, an Austrian scientist, discovered that ABO blood group system in the year 1900. In his experiments, he mixed the different blood types and noted that the plasma of certain blood type produces agglutinates. Agglutinates means clumping, clusters. All form clusters which were caused by the absence of molecules on the RBC and resulting in the antibody to defeat that molecule. He then made a note of the agglutination and divided the blood types into 4 different groups. For the discovery of ABO blood group, he was awarded the Nobel Prize. The blood grouping system plays an important role during the blood transfusion because it is very important. If the person who is receiving the blood of the another person, if their blood groups are not matched, then there is a formation of antibodies and the clumping starts. The blood in the channels starts agglutinating and the person dies. If another blood type is introduced in our body, our immune system recognizes as a foreign particle and attacks it and results into transfusion reaction. Mismatches with the RH blood group as well as ABO blood group results into the most serious and life-threatening transfusion reactions. Hence, it is advisable to have blood group checked before the blood transfusion. What is about ABO and RH blood groups? During the blood transfusion, the two most important types or group system examined are ABO system and rhesus system. The ABO blood group system consists of 4 types of blood groups A, B, AB and O and is mainly based on the presence and absence of antigens and antibodies on the RBC and in the plasma. Both antigens and antibodies are present depending upon the type of the group, and they are the protein molecules in which antigens are present on the surface of RBC and antibodies are present in the plasma. So antigens, where are antigens located? Antigens are located on the surface, and where are these antibodies located? Antibodies are formed or located in the plasma. So they can have, if there is no matching, if there is no compatibility, then there is the agglutination or clumping or clusters of RBC starts taking place. On the other hand, the RH blood group system consists of 50 defined blood group antigens. In RH system, the most important antigens are D, C, small c, E and small e. The ABO and RH systems are discussed in detail below, but RS you don't have to worry about it because it is not there in your syllabus. But one thing you have to be very sure of, that RS was first found in the American rhesus monkey. That protein was there, and it was also been seen in the other mammals and even in the humans. ABO blood group system, on the basis of ABO grouping is of 2 antigens, antigen A and antigen B. The ABO grouping system is classified into 4 types based on the presence or absence of antigens on RBC cells surface and plasma antibodies. Group A, it contains antigen A and antibody B. So antigen A is present on the surface of RBC and antibody B is present in its plasma. Group B, surface of RBC contains antigen B and the plasma contains antibody A. Group AB contains both antigen on the surface of its RBC, that is A and B, but there are no antibodies related to these antigens. So AB can take the blood from group A or group B because they are not going to produce any sort of antibodies. So antibodies related to group A and group B are absent in group AB. Group O, it does not contain any sort of antigen on the surface of the RBC, but it has antibodies. So it cannot take the blood group from A, B or AB because it has antibodies. But it can give blood as there is no antigen on the surface, so it can give blood to any of the other groups. ABO group system is important during the blood donation or blood transfusion, as mismatching of the blood group can lead to the clumping of RBC with the various disorders. It is important for the blood cells to match while transfusing, that is, donor recipient incompatibility is necessary. For example, a person of blood group A receives blood from either A or O, as there are no antibodies for AO in the group A. But it cannot take blood from B and AB. If he takes the blood from B, then antibody B are present, which is going to start clumping with the B. If AB is going to take, then B antibodies are present in the plasma, and the clumping is going to take place. Let us see the figure. The same figure that we have seen in the previous slide, same thing. So yeah, it's easy to understand. Let me zoom out. Okay, this is what it is. So here, ABO blood group system, group A, group B, group AB and group O. RBC types, antigen A is present, antigen B is present, antigen AB is present. Here there are no antigens. In the plasma you will find for group A there will be antibody B, for group B there will be antibody A, group AB there are no antibodies, and for group O both antibody A and B are present. So this is how it works. Compatibility is very much important. Let us go for the RH blood group system. In addition to the ABO blood grouping system, the another prominent one is the RH group blood group system. About two-thirds of the population contains the third antigen of the surface on their RBC, known as RH factor or RH antigen. This decides whether the group is positive, blood group is positive or negative. It was been seen in the rhesus monkey. Positive means antigen is present, negative means antigen is absent. If RH factor is present, as an individual is rhesus positive. If RH factor is absent, then the individual is rhesus negative, as they produces RH antibodies. Therefore, compatibility between the donor and individual is crucial in this case as well. Let us check it out, the RH factor in pregnancy. Let us assume that a person is RH positive and he is male, and the female RH negative. That means when I say male RH positive, that means antigens are present on the surface of his RBC, while here antigens are absent in the surface of female's RBC. Okay, female RBC antigens are absent because she is RH negative. They both get married and the female becomes pregnant. She is pregnant for the first time and the fetus is RH positive. So RH positive, that means protein is present, antigen is present. So female body, mother, is going to produce antibodies against the RH positive antigen. By the time the antibodies are produced, 9 months of the fetal development is over and the baby's birth takes place. Now the mother's blood possesses large amount of antibodies that were provoked during the first pregnancy. So first pregnancy has developed large number of antibodies in the mother's blood plasma. Now if the mother becomes pregnant for the second time and if again the fetus is RH positive, then the antibodies which were present, which were formed previous pregnancy, in the previous pregnancy, is going to start forming a clumping or agglutinations or clusters with the RH positive blood of the fetus. Then there are two things: either the hemolysis occurs in the fetus due to erythroblastosis fetalis or the hemolytic jaundice, and the child will die, the fetus will die. If the fetus dies inside the mother's womb, then it is known as erythroblastosis fetalis, or if it dies afterwards, then it is known as, after the birth, then it is known as hemolytic jaundice. So there are two conditions, but nowadays injections are available in order to prevent this type of conditions, so you no need to worry about it. Anyway, I hope you understood the RH factor in pregnancy. So here if the female is negative and if the fetus developing inside her womb is positive, then the mother is going to develop antibodies. The antibody formation will take time. By the time 9 months are over and the baby is born, so mother, the first baby, the first child has provoked the formation of antibodies in the mother's blood, in the mother's blood plasma. So if the mother is becoming pregnant for the second time and again the fetus is RH positive, then the antibodies which were produced by the, which were provoked, which were formed by the first pregnancy, will try to bring hemolytic jaundice or hemolysis due to erythroblastosis fetalis for the second child. The first child is safe, but the second child with the RH positive is in danger. So this is all about the RH factor in pregnancy. I hope you understood the whole session related to blood platelets, coagulation of blood, clotting of blood, then blood groups A, B and O, and RH factor in pregnancy. Questions related to these are very important. Why AB is known as universal recipient, why O is known as universal donor, what do you mean by RH factor, whether it was rhesus monkey or some other thing or some other animal. Explain the RH factor in pregnancy, difference or you can say difference between blood group A and B, as well as they can ask you the question why blood group A cannot be given to O, or O cannot receive the blood from AB. Like such type of questions can be asked, as well as platelets. State the timing for the blood clotting, state the function of platelets, state the steps of platelets. What do you mean by serum, what is present in the serum, state the steps of blood clotting. Such type of questions are there. Please be very attentive in all this type of questions, because they can ask any questions related to this one, but to your syllabus only. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or doubt, please let me know and mention it in the comment box. Thanks very much, and thanks for your patience.